time? You want to just go ahead to the...
Let's get to a point I just made. This was the finals I wanted in 2019. It's not shy over. Those two best players on those teams at that time was Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They're no longer on those teams, and they're in Brooklyn, and now those teams are back in the finals. What's your take on that?
It's very unfortunate when we're telling the story of these brothers that, you know, as of late, that's the latest chapter. Because again, that's in the Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? That's where people are gonna harp on. I mean, it's just hard. It's hard not to, but I guess I have a little different perspective because I'm a Knicks fan, and I'll make the point is the Patrick Ewing, right? So some of the best runs that the Knicks had when Patrick Ewing was hurt. Does that mean we were better without Patrick Ewing? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's tough. When you go to the Warriors, you look at the Warriors. So in year one, when they won the championship in 15, a player was hurt every single series.
And no Oklahoma City Thunder.
We can go back. We don't have to harp on exactly who was hurt, but I remember the 2015. That was an injury played. That was an injury played year that they won. 2016 is a 3-1 comeback.
Yeah.
And then 2017 is when Kevin Durant came and they won back-to-back finals. So Kevin Durant won back-to-back finals MVP. So you can't sit here and say that they would be the Warriors of today 100% without Kevin Durant, because that would just not be true.
That's a fact.
When you look at it from that standpoint, and then you take a next step to say, like I said, against the Raptors, he gets hurt, they lose. When they face another great player in Kawhi Leonard, you know what I mean? So he was the best again because LeBron James was playing great in those series that they won.
He was.
Even though they swept them and won in 5 games, LeBron James was playing great. Not to mention the 51-point, beautiful, majestic game he played with the infamous J.R. Smith moment, which again I don't understand why people don't give more swipe to George Hill for missing the free throw. You know, shout out to J.R. Smith for doing big things in college.
Nah, that's a fact. Shout out to him going back, playing golf and
doing this thing, getting his high GPA, all that.
Word, nah, that's a fact. Getting his education and all that.
But yeah, so when you look at that, Kevin Durant, you can say he saved them. Now again, the foundation was so great that when you add a player like Kevin Durant, it just takes him over the top. That's what made basketball fans and pundits alike so frustrated.
Yeah.
It wasn't that they needed Kevin Durant to be a championship contender. It's because it made the difference so great that it wasn't fair. Like, it wasn't even fair basketball. So, but again, he was the best player. He was the best player on those two teams. And like I said, he carried them through the Clippers when they took him to 6 games.
Yeah. Yep.
So, like I said, won the 2 Finals MVPs. Now the Kyrie Irving, that's a little tougher. Like I said, Kyrie Irving is one of my personal favorite basketball players. One of the last players that wasn't a Knicks. Actually, the last player that wasn't a Knicks player that I bought their sneaker and Olympic shirt. So I spent harder money that I worked hard for on a non-Knicks player that was for Kyrie Irving. So I really like Kyrie Irving. But again, when you go to the Celtics, you're talking about you're talking about one of the most successful franchises in sports, let alone basketball, where you can't argue they're not top 2. So, you know what I mean? They had it pumping. Yeah. They had things working. When he was hurt, they already went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So, it's like I said, it looks bad. It looks real bad.
Yeah.
But I think it's a slight to really to take a step further. Kyrie Irving should be top 75.
Nah, that's a fact.
He should have been on top 75.
That's
I'm not.
Fact.
I don't. I know the whole you got to take somebody off. I don't want to disrespect somebody. That's a conversation for another day. But
nah, that's a fact.
So yeah, that's definitely. What's your thoughts on it?
It's the same approach that you just made, man. 2 well-oiled machines.
Offensive savants.
Yeah, they're gonna retool. I mean, I'm speaking into like the Warriors organization, Celtics organization.